Hi, classmates and teacher. I'm Jessica, and my exposition is non-contact anthropometry measurements. Anthropometry is the science of determination and application of measurements of the human body, both at rest and in motion. These measurements are determined by the length of the bones, muscles, and the shape of the joints. It's a basic discipline for solving problems related to ground, exercise, nutrition, and sport performance. As we see in the table of basic measurements of anthropometric measurements. Anthropometry measurement methods. In the past, an anthropometry measurement method indirectly sample was proposed by Rayleigh and Contini in 1966. They provided a sample method for the dimensional determination of the segments of the human body based on obtaining a large number of experimental measurements. Anthropometry measurement can also be performed directly by obtaining anthropometry dimensions directly from the person. However, direct techniques require both appropriate instrumentation, which reduce the variability introduced by the personnel who make the records, and standardized postures or gestures in order to accurately compare the measurement. Traditional anthropometry provides a more or less extensive collection of linear dimensions, that is, measurements of distance between anatomical points, between points and reference surface, for example, floor, wall, among others. The image shows some examples on angles on perimeters, for example, humerus, wrist, femur, and chest. From this state, the geometry and composition of the human body can be reproduced combining height, length, width, thicknesses, angles, and perimeters. The perimeters are taken as shown in the first image. Speaking of perimeters, we have the example of waist circumference is the perimeter in the abdominal rete area at an intermediate level between the last costal arch and the iliac crest in the narrowest position of the abdomen. If the narrowest area is not apparent, the most measurement level is arbitrarily deceived. The juxtaposed tape technique is used to help horizontally. The tools of anthropometry traditional include a set of rules, rebound metrics, inclinators, vernier calipers, pencils for point out marks on the screen, among others. For example, a stadiometer, infantometer is exclusive for babies, and weighting scale. Measurement equipment contacts anthropometry. There are different commercial devices to perform anthropometry. Measurements there are simple ones like the vernier. There are also more complex ones that use microwaves, X-ray, laser. Some of these devices and their fundamental characteristics, their principle of operation, and their application are mentioned below. First, infrared thermography equipment. Basically, it is a thermography imaging taking camera within the wavelength bands of 8 to 12 EM. The camera operates on the principle of scanning the object to measure it, which is sampled using a two-dimensional reflective scanner. The horizontal scanner detects in lines of 300 pixels each. with a sampling rate of 135 Hz of left and right, and operates as a resonant oscillator driving BIDC motor. The vertical scanner configures the entire imaging from the various lines. 200 lines are captured. The sequence of repetition of images being 1.25 Hz. You can also work with 100 or 50 lines. The next two, food scanning equipment. This type of instrument used for laser projectors and eye cameras. Place it into a way that they completely cover the food. The food is placed on glass plate and mechanisms place these cameras and lasers, and there will be achievement measurements. Cameras and lasers measure the food from 4 directions at once, so it only takes seconds to measure the entire food. To measure the food, the stickers are placed to locate the bones and tendons of the food. These labels are automatically detected and identified. Next, SIMCAT. SIMCAT does not use laser or other harmful radiation. The data capture device is fixed. There are no moving parts, giving safe and easy maintenance results. Its patent 3D acquisition technology is based on the frame projection technique with natural light. This method gives us the ease of high-speed 3D sensor. Number one, numerical projection of structure with light. Two, automatic calibration with control of the measurement area with no operator intervention. 3. Insensitivity to the movements of the human body. 4. Acquisition time less than 2.5 seconds. 5. Intensive to skin color. 6. Reduced color sensitivity of undergarments. 7. Automatic extraction of measurement in less than 30 seconds. 8. Analysis of body shapes, anatomic capture of postures. 9. Without any moving part. Total reliability is an economical maintenance. 10. Extraction of the special measure, they leave big markers. 11. Open platform that always collection to cut systems. And 11. Transportability device in a vehicle container. Is others. The next two, body scanner. The 3D body scanner consists of 4 columns, each of which includes 2 CCT cameras and Category 1 lasers. This affixed to the ground. It only takes 8 seconds to explore the entire human body. To do this, the client must undress and stand in natural posture. Relax and normal posture is what you may use as the photo indicates. During scanning, there is no need to removing underwear or sportwear such as lycra or aerobics. The system detects the surface of the human body and reproduces on the computer a three-dimensional representation. The physical presence of the person is no longer necessary for the process of taking measures and keep down at any time. Please just be sending a file over the internet. The last method, measurement with a photograph. This particular technique is mainly based on projective geometry, which establishes a mathematical model of a photograph. camera of the form, where M, SAM, M, PM, where M is the image of the object, over quiz M is the object to be measured, and P is the projection matrix. To carry out the measurements, it is necessary to have a reference standard, as illustrated in the figure. As a conclusion, I can say that anthropometry is not only a science for making measurements, but it allows us to go beyond its purpose, that is, it is related to other areas, such as ergonomics for space design. In a very particular way, it was allowed the development of anthropometry equipment, both simple and complex. Those instruments that don't require physical contact with the user have been described here. Uh, for me, it's all. Thank you for your attention. Bye.